All right, folks, so we just wrapped up the first annual The Gather thing here at gorgeous Bluestone State Park in Hinton, West Virginia. Big shout out to Jay of Opossum Pouch Soft Goods, Madison of Bomb Proof Bushcraft, and then Jason. And I'm sorry, Jason, I don't remember who you were with. But great weekend, small crowd, but exceptional people, a lot of knowledge being shared, and just an all-around good time getting to meet some different people. One thing I spent a lot of time doing this weekend was sharpening. The Ken Onion with the blade grinding attachment received a lot of use, followed by the Precision Adjust, and then the Sharp Field Sharpener. The big thing that I have come to realize after using all of these systems the last few years, you can get a phenomenal edge with all three systems without issue. What it really comes down to is time and what your skill level and confidence level is in sharpening. The Precision Adjust, the Precision Adjust Elite, and the Pro, which I have not gotten a chance to use, are essentially foolproof. You know, you clamp your knife in here, you set your angle, and away you go. The base kit comes with a 320 and 600 grit diamond, as well as a ceramic hone, while your Elite kit comes with a 220, 320, 400, 600, 800 grit diamonds, ceramic hone, leather strop, and ceramic hone for serrations, as well as your carrying case. The big advantage to this kit, besides the almost foolproof nature where you're able to set and forget your angle and go with it, I'm sure by now this is not a foreign kit to most people, but the big advantage to this one is being able to operate it without electricity. I can use this one sitting around the campfire. A lot of people like it for the fact they can toss it in their camping kit, keep it in their truck. They don't have to worry about it. They've got a full system that will do anything you need it to do, from reprofile an edge all the way to just basic blade maintenance using that ceramic and leather strop or the 800 grit if need be. So those are the two big advantages with this. The downside is you're not going to be able to do your real narrow blades. I'll roll in a picture here of what that looks like. But you're not going to be able to do your real narrow blades consistently. I did a Scandi grind. I worked on a Scandi grind more this weekend for a gentleman, and really didn't see, I'm sure some of you in the comments have got experience with it and can drop me some suggestions on it. I didn't really see a good way to do a Scandi grind on here. The angle was too shallow. I was well below 15 and was just getting into where it really needed to be to have kept it at a true Scandi. He agreed he was okay with putting a secondary angle on it, a secondary bevel at a 20 degree. So that's what we went with. It turned out really nice. But for the outdoor bushcraft guys that like Scandis, not really seen a good way to do that on this system. But please feel free in the comments to drop your suggestions on that or links to other videos. So those are kind of the pros and cons to that. The Ken Onion blade grinding setup is my go-to. I personally am not a fan of the pull-through V-guides. I feel like I can get a more consistent, cleaner edge using this setup than I can with the V-grinds. I'm also not limited to blade size. I can do as small knives as I want or as large of knives as I want. This one per se, that's not the case. You are kind of limited in length. Realistically, if you go above about a 5 to 6 inch blade, depending on the style of it, you're going to have to start kind of breaking that up in sections and work in multiple sections to accomplish that goal. This one, that is not the case. The only thing you've really got to watch using on this one are knives with really pronounced thumb studs, or I've had a few that the way the handle material comes out onto the blade, you've got to watch and make sure you don't get the handle material into the belt when you're getting the last part of the end of the cutting edge. So if the cutting edge stops here, on the knife, but the handle material comes on out past the edge of your blade. Well, let's see. We'll call this the end of your cutting edge here. If your blade material comes out like this, I hope that's showing up, over the end of your cutting edge is actually back up behind the leading edge of the handle material per se. I have had issues with it hitting on here, so you have to just pay a little bit of attention. Once you realize that and get the hang of it, not a big deal. I like this one for the speed. I still get an amazing edge out of all of these systems. I can shave hair. This weekend I was using receipt paper to test the edges. I could still cleanly cut receipt paper with it. So edge quality to me is not a problem, but I just like that one for the speed. If you do have a knife that has got severe blade damage or anything like that on it, you are way more likely to have better success getting that out with the Ken Onion than the Precision Adjust. Like I said, you can do it on the Precision Adjust. It's going to take you time. You're really going to have to work at it. That one I reprofiled, I think, 4 knives the other night in like 30 minutes. Start to finish, reprofiled to shaving receipt paper. And they weren't soft steels. They were good quality knives. So speed is a big advantage to that one. You also have a wider selection of belts available for it, anywhere from 80 grit to, I think I've seen some like 36,000 grit polishing belts for it. For me, I use the standard assorted belt kit that comes with it and have no issues. This setup, I do use the Elite, and I go through every grit on it as well when I'm using it. And I do the same one on the belts. I'll start with the extra coarse and work all the way down to fine. If I'm just doing some maintenance, then fine, extra fine, maybe up to medium. But overall, that has been a game changer for me for sharpening abilities. Sorry, there's a road right behind where we are, so we're getting a little bit of background noise. But overall, it's a really solid product. Your price point is noticeably higher with the Ken Onion and blade grinding attachment setup versus your Elite. And like I said, you're not going to have the capability to be able to just sharpen this anywhere and everywhere without electricity. You are obviously going to have electric, as it is electrically driven. But you've got anywhere on here from 10 to 35 degrees. You've got your speed control down here, so your little red knob adjusts your speed setting, and then you can lock it on so you don't have to hold the trigger. So it is a big step up from the original Work Sharps that most everybody's familiar with. It's just got the pull-through V-guides. And to me, it's even still a big step up from the current Mark II with the pull-through V guides. But that's kind of the wrap of those two. If you were to ask me which one, if I could only have one sharpener, which one would I go with? It would be the Precision Adjust, for the flexibility of being able to sharpen wherever. You know, if I want to sit here and enjoy this scenic overlook and sharpen some knives, I can do that with the Precision Adjust. I can't do that with the Ken Onion. So that's kind of where that is. If I have the option for electricity, I'm going to go with that blade grinding attachment. Now, you do have to be tedious in how you sharpen. So you rest your knife right here is your index point, and then you're going to bring that up and keep that level and bring it across your belt. So you do have to be stable. You do have to learn that muscle memory. It's a little bit different doing this at this angle, but you do have to learn that muscle memory. But once you do, fantastic edges very quickly without issue. So just something to think about. Like I said, pros and cons to both. Just kind of what your needs are, how much you're willing to spend, and how much sharpening you want to do, and how quick you want to get it done. Now, the all-star favorite for once you have both of these kits, a big thing I recommend everybody do is pick up one of these guided field sharpeners. You have got a 320 600 grit diamond plate. You've got a coarse and fine ceramic hone and a leather strop, all in one package with your built-in 20-degree guides. This is fantastic for being able to maintain the edge that you get with these two systems. Maintenance is more crucial to me than sharpening. Sharpening, once you get a good consistent angle established and a good edge on your knife, this ceramic hone and the leather strop will allow you to keep that edge a lot longer and require less time actually sharpening. This is also great as you can fit it in just about anywhere. I mean, there's a size range on it. Fantastic size, lightweight, and it's full featured. If you need to fix a really bad spot in a blade, you can. It's going to take you some time, but you can do that in the field. You know, I keep one of these in my day pack. Most everybody I know pretty well has one in their day pack or in the glove box of their truck, console, what have you. They're just really great to have. They're hard to beat for the money, and it really rounds out these systems and complements them. I did have a few knives this weekend that even once I finished them up on here, I took advantage of that round, fine ceramic hone to get the last few little burrs out that 95% of people would never notice were there. You wouldn't notice it on a regular paper test, but where I was using receipt paper this weekend, I could tell. Having that round ceramic hone to really fine-tune that edge, and then that good leather strop sealed the deal on it and finished getting that really good edge that I look for these days. So that's just kind of a summary of the three main options from WorkSharp that I stock, recommend, and use the most. There are a wide variety of other systems that I either have limited to no experience with, but overall, if you're going to get a system, one of these three, usually, like I said, a pairing, or if you can swing it, all three have their place. This one is a little bit better suited for keeping a convex on an angle. This one is going to give you just a traditional, let's see, you're going to get just a traditional flat angle. This one is going to give you a little bit of a convex, so it's going to be a little bit of a radiused edge. I find that on my big, heavier knives, the convex edge does last better, but I have no complaints with the edge this one gives either. Majority of people are never going to know the difference in everyday normal knife use. When you start getting into really hard use knives, it does play a little bit of a factor in it. I have found it a little bit beneficial to have that convex edge on there, so you've got a little bit more strength to the edge. But overall, most people, like I said, you're not going to use them enough to really notice. And that's what I've gotten from the majority of friends and people that I sell to that are just casual knife users or want something simple. This is the way to go because you keep that consistent angle, and it does the biggest bulk of knives that people use. So that wraps that up, guys. Thank you all. Have a beautiful day. Keep your knives sharp and your lights charged.